Hello family, welcome back to Shorty Mac TV. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, hit the notification bell so you're notified each time I upload a new video, and all those great YouTube things. Quick announcement, I know I've been on a little small hiatus. It's only been a week. I've been thoroughly enjoying resting throughout this new energy shift that's going on. I've been exhausted, so I've been resting and also doing things behind the scenes. So be on the lookout. I'm working on 2 to 3 new segments that I want to bring to my channel to expand my channel as much as I can. I've had creative ideas come to me, so I've been jotting them down and meditating on them and thinking about them. So I have 2 new segments that I'm going to bring to my channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So I'm going to be working on that. It's going to be coming soon. I don't have a date on that, so just be on the lookout for that. I've been working behind the scenes on that. So yeah, so just be on the lookout for that. All right, so let's dive into the video, the subject at hand. Today I want to talk about understanding your life path number and how you can find your life path number. So what a life path number is just it's just your birth date, and you add in all those numbers in your birthday. So my birthday is July 1st, 1991. So all you would do is add those numbers up. So 7 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 1. You add all of that up, and I believe it gives me 28. Then I add the 8 plus 2, which is 10. And then so my life path number is a 1, because you add the 1 and the 0. So if you want to do research on that, go to Google, do your Google search on how to find your life path number. Is very simple, and dive into the deep and meaning of it, and I'm telling y'all, when I went back at last year, when I visited my life path number, it really helped me open my eyes to a lot of things that I do. It made me understand the way I think, the things that I do, and it just really overall helped me understand more of myself. I just got a higher learning of myself. So I'm just gonna read out some of the, for life path number 1, some of the characteristics of a life path number 1 is a leader, independent, creative, honest, intelligent, and hardworking. Now, when I read those, I was just like, that could be anybody. Of course, I do agree that all of those characteristics are stuff that I have. Those are characteristics that I think I have myself. So then I was like, okay, well, that could be for anybody. Like, those characteristics can be for anybody. But then I started diving deeper and really started to read me. So I have my phone right here, so I'm just going to be looking and reading, because I did some screenshots, and this is where it started reading me, like knowing who I am. So life path number says you possess incredible leadership skills, potential, and an innate drive to accomplish what you set your mind to. And then it goes into about my career. It says you feel happiest when working in your element. Creative ideas that you bring to life. You can best serve in a career where you can lead others fairly and by example. And then it furthers read me even more and start telling me what my strengths and weaknesses are. And I'm just like, yeah, this is me. So let me finish what it says about my career choices, because that makes sense as well. It says you're self-employed or an entrepreneur, sorry y'all. And then it says anything that lets you retain your independence as you don't take orders from others too well. And that's under what my optimal career choices are. And it actually really describes everything with me. I don't take orders well from other people except for my parents, and I really don't like doing that. But I like working for myself. I don't do well taking orders for someone, and then that someone that I'm taking orders for don't even have my best interests at heart. They don't even care. It's just, anywho, I could get into a lot about that. So then it starts reading me, and it starts saying my weaknesses and my strengths. So I'm gonna start off with my weaknesses first. It says I have a life path number has a lack of sensitivity and patience. I don't know if that's true about me, but hey. Then it says weakness is pride, selfishness. I don't think I'm selfish. Sorry about that in the background, y'all. That's my toilet. I do record these in my bathroom, so disregard that noise in the background. It says a tendency to be a know-it-all. Now, yeah, I do think sometimes I do have that characteristic about myself. Sometimes I do tend to know it all. And that, that's one of my weaknesses. And then it says can come off as too aggressive. I don't know, maybe I do come off as too aggressive sometimes. And then we get into my strengths, or into life path number 1 strengths. Say you're great at starting new projects, hence my YouTube channel. Awesome at multitasking, I guess so. Driven and focused, yep. Decision making doesn't scare you. It says make the most out of every opportunity, and big goals and dreams. So I feel like all of that is something that I can, agree with. All of those things I definitely do agree with. I feel like those characteristics describe me very well. And then it lists famous celebrities with life path number, and the only one that I choose to acknowledge is Martin Luther King Jr. for these life path number 1. So the fact that he has a life path number 1 explains a lot. So shout out to MLK Jr. But just for kicks, I'll put everybody else in here: Steve Jobs, Jack Nicholson, George Washington, Tom Hanks. All those people are life path number 1s. And so when I dive deeper into my life path number, I start to realize that or I start to think about my childhood, and I start to realize that I've always been the way that I have from the very beginning, and I've always been a part of the chosen ones, or the light workers, star seeds, however you want to refer to yourself. I've always had that gift. And I go back in my childhood, and I'm going to give some examples to why I believe that I've always had that gift inside of me. I've always been the one to question everything. I remember being in church, and I don't even remember if I got a whooping for this or not, but I remember being in church, and it was like tithes and offering time. And you know how they always say 10% of your check should go to God, and that's God's money, and everybody giving all this money and stuff. And I remember just asking my mom, like, if this money is for God, how does he get it? Like, this money is God's money, how does God get the money? And I remember her telling me some lie about how they take the money and they do something and the money go up to God. And I'm pretty sure she just said that to shut me up, because I'm a little kid, and little kids be asking a whole bunch of questions. But I just remember that, and I was just like, that didn't, it stood out to me and didn't make sense to me. Or the fact that Mary was a virgin and she gave birth to baby Jesus, and that God was the daddy and not Joseph. And I was just like, huh? So I've always been one to question everything. And I remember I don't know, I would just question everything. I remember my uncle, shout out to my Uncle Daniel. I remember back then, I don't know what year this was, but I remember he had like a DVD, and it was like talking about the Illuminati and everything. And I remember watching that, and I remember believing into the Illuminati, because a lot of the stuff in that documentary that I was watching made sense to me. To other people, it sounded like it was a bunch of nonsense and it was a bunch of made up conspiracy theory type stuff. But to me, the way that I thought and the way I didn't think like other people, it made a lot of sense to me, and I started questioning everything after that. I remember I would, like my childhood stuff, I would remember questioning everything. I remember being a child looking up in the sky and seeing the airplane spray them chemtrails. Now, being a kid, I didn't know what chemtrails was, but I remember noticing how some planes leave their little smoke behind it, and then other planes didn't. And I always wondered, what was that trail of smoke? Like, what is that? How come certain planes have it and certain planes don't? And now growing up, I realized chemtrails, they've been spraying all types of toxic stuff in the air, and why people be getting sick and stuff. That might be the real COVID. But I remember also being a kid, and I used to without knowing what this was, I used to be in my room in complete darkness, and I would just close my eyes. And as I have my eyes closed, I start to see colors, and I would see different colors, and I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought it was cool, and I thought maybe this was something that everybody did. So I never asked anybody, like, when you close your eyes, do you see colors, or stuff like that. So and then growing up, I realized that I was meditating, and I was aligning my chakras. The colors that I was seeing was my chakras aligning, and I had no clue that's what I was doing. But I was a child, and I was doing that. So that furthermore proves that gift, or has always been inside me. I've always been one of the chosen ones, the light workers. And I also remember being able to see like static as a child. I would see like little stuff that looked like static on a TV, but I would see it like along the walls, or in the air. It looked like kind of static type brain. I don't know how to explain it, but I remember seeing that. And I remember asking my siblings if they saw that, and I don't think they ever saw it. So I just, like, a lot of stuff is coming back to me, and like stuff that I remember as my childhood, and I'm just like, all of that has been spiritual, and I had no clue as a child that all of that has been with me. And that static that I've saw has been, angels communicating with me, or the presence of angels near. I looked that up as an adult, and then going back, I was like, oh, so they've always been with me. My spirit guides, my angels have always been with me. And so I've always had, always been one of the chosen ones, and I've always had that questioning factor and question everything. I've never, thought like how everybody thought, how, everybody had this one train of thought and you go along with the masses. I've always been going the other way. And so what else can I remember? Sun gazing. I also did sun gazing as a child without even knowing what that was, because I remember my mom telling me, I used to look up at the sky and wonder like why I hurt my eyes when I look for it, look at it sometimes. And then I remember my mom telling me not to look directly in the sun because you'll go blind. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, you don't know nothing. And me, I would just, being a rebel, I would go and just look at the sun. My eyes would be watering and stuff like that. Now that might not have been the greatest idea, but being a child, you always go against what your parents say. So even as a child, I was sun gazing and not even knowing what sun gazing was. So it's a lot of stuff that I'm going back and remembering. I was like, oh my God, like I've always been that spiritual person. I've just been, dumbed down by media, by the food, the fluoride in the water, the chemtrails that they spray, all that type of stuff decalcifies your pineal gland, and it stops you from being able to see through your third eye. And so now that I'm older and I've opened that again, I'm remembering stuff from my childhood, how I've always had, my spirituality with me, and how my spirit guides and my ancestors have always been here with me. And so that's a little background on me. I guess this turned into a story time. But once you figure out your life path number, you will grow to understand yourself a lot more. And now I understand why I am the way I am, and why I think the way I think. It's just always been a part of me. So I encourage everybody to go find out what your life path number is and dive deep into that. And you might learn some stuff about yourself that you didn't know. And then you might start remembering stuff from your childhood as well. So thank y'all for tuning in to another video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified each time I upload a video. And thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all on the next video.